Lights, camera, boost.
Oh, I'm trying to fix my hair and she's taking selfies. No. Teamwork makes the dream work. Even when we're here, you still got to make sure you look the best. Oh, no. No, that's good. It looks really nice. Happy days. Welcome back to The Archive, brought to you by Bondi Boost. We are so excited to share From the Roots, which is all about sort of tracing back where it all began for Rosalia and I.
This episode is a bit of a change in mood.
Absolutely.
But we're going to bring you back to where it all began, our successes, our losses, and things that we would change, maybe both business and personally.
Because I think people see the end result now and what we've achieved, but don't necessarily know where we both started. So for you, I know when we were chatting earlier, I first discovered you on Instagram. You just started posting your outfits and now you're this entrepreneur, designer for brands. How did you get to where you are now?
It all started with some very bad mirror selfies. I started Instagram even before I was married. So we're talking about 13 years ago.
Wow.
I was originally a MySpace gal. Then I moved on to Facebook. And then Nick actually showed me Instagram one day. And I just started by taking photos of my girlfriends heading out and uploading them. And then I would receive questions from people like, oh my God, where's your skirt from? Or where's your blush? Like, what color blush are you wearing? Yeah. So I just thought, oh, okay, I'll take a photo of my outfit before I went out. And then it was just like a snowball effect. But everyone needs to remember this is 13 years ago when there was no algorithm. Different. It was like you just grew and grew and grew. It didn't matter if you were using a trending sound or if you were doing a reel. Everything
was
just...
Those were the good old days.
Yes.
Just you were enough. You didn't have to have sounds. We used to use Valencia filters.
On everything.
And I feel like what I would say to the generation that's behind us now is like you're so lucky to have all of these channels available to you, right? Like It used to be that if you wanted to do television, you almost had to be discovered or go on a reality show. Now your own channels can be your reality show if you want, and you can build an audience so organically.
Absolutely. Yeah. As I said, then I got married and I think I actually had this moment after our wedding. I was sitting on the plane extremely hungover on our way to our honeymoon and I was getting all these like random people following me. I've got no idea who they are. So I actually went on private and I delete, decline and just went on private because I just still didn't fathom this whole social media following. So I never set out to have a following. Yeah, right. It was all very organic. So
do you think in a way like having your wedding, because I remember your wedding dresses and your dresses, they were incredible. Do you think that that was like a window where people were like, oh my God, I find her so interesting, and then subsequently followed? Was that a moment for you that kind of, when you've gone private, what made you decide, oh no, I do want to share?
I think even before social media, because my husband Nick is in hospitality and when we met he had this nightclub called Eve, which was like the place to go to if you were...
I definitely went there a few times. I think our engagement party, little after party was there.
Yeah, and it was just such a big vibe in Melbourne and everyone knew who he was, and I think naturally people were just so curious like, oh, who's Nick's new girlfriend? So we were already getting invited to all the different events, the races. So to me, having met Nick so young at 19, I was exposed to this world so early on that, not that I took it for granted, but I was kind of like, oh yeah, you go to events, yep, you're in the Lavazza marquee at the races, and it was all because of Nick at that time. So it wasn't until after our wedding I went on private, and then I had brands reach out to me and they're like, hey, do you want some pants? Do you want a mop? Do you want...
And you're like, oh, yes, I do. I'm happy
I
not to buy any of these things.
Yeah. And then I would upload a photo of the leather pants and then I would have feedback, oh, thanks so much. The pants sold out. And it was actually Nick. He's like, you're not going to get anywhere just accepting free pair of pants and a mop. So
don't we know
you need
that
to
now when you've been doing this for so long.
I think you need
value.
you need to start charging people. And he was the real driver in turning this into a business for me.
That's amazing. And did you find that hard? For me, I know through my journey, that was something that I found quite difficult, putting value on myself and my services. And do you think having Nick sort of be that other mindset for you helped?
Absolutely. Nick's had an incredible career where he was, on his way to be a professional AFL footballer. Then he had an injury that set him back. Then he went on to working in hospitality venues. Then he went to modelling overseas, and then he came back and then he started, I think he opened his first nightclub when he was 21. So he's always been so business savvy.
And entrepreneurial.
And he was the one who really helped guide me because I had no idea. I was 19 accepting free leather pants and mops thinking life was great.
And look where you are now.
I know.
And so you've gone from obviously being that sort of influencer. How did the sort of moving into designing for brands and things come about?
I think it's just like a natural evolution. I've always wanted to do, what was next and challenge myself as well. And I just had this idea that how about it started with an edit. I would do like little edits for brands and be like, hey, these are my top 5 outfits of the week. And I'll do these like little almost like newsletter type. And then from that, I would be like, oh, like I love that blazer, but I wish there was something like this. And I would just start giving feedback to certain brands. And one of them was like, well, would you design a collection? I'm like, do you know what? Why not?
Why not? Fake it till you make it.
Absolutely.
It's been the philosophy of my career for sure.
Well, speaking of designing, you have an incredible shoe brand. How did it all begin for you?
Well, for me, I was in corporate marketing. So I then moved to styling. That kind of happened by accident. I just started helping out some friends who were working on a reality show of all things. And
what show was it?
Oh, I can't.
No, tell us. What show was it?
It was a show on Channel 7, do not judge me. It was called Wag Nation.
Oh, I remember that show.
So it's funny that like over the years I've been sort of associated with different things, but like I'm also like you've got to own where you came from,
Yep.
And I think for me, I was posting a lot of outfits on social media, and back then it was Facebook and Instagram, so no TikTok yet. And I think for me, that kind of naturally progressed to me dressing and styling talent. It sort of just all came from referral. And I never set out to be out the front. Everything was like, let the work do the talking. But then you get on set and I'd try and always be like, dress for the job you want, not the one you have. And, let's be honest, it's miss your breath, miss your turn with me. And I think people thought, we can maybe ask what her opinion is and put a camera in front of her. And so progressively I was doing more work and more clients were coming in to a point where I left my corporate job, which was really scary at the time. Because
what was your corporate job?
I was a project marketing manager.
Wow.
I was Stockland, of all places.
Okay.
I was in House and Land.
Yep.
I know you think, you look at me and you
no,
go,
I mean, you could sell, what's the saying?
Ice
You
to
could
an
sell,
Eskimo.
absolutely.
But I know you look at me and go, you know what, so much of what I learnt in business I got from that role. So that would be my advice to anybody moving through business and careers is you can chop and change at different times, that the experiences that you have at one organisation can really help you in the next one or in your next role. So never sort of think that you can't adapt and change, because that's been my whole career. And so I was styling then pretty aggressively for probably 8 or 9 years. And I was also one of those stylists though where it was like the free option is not the best option. And so often when I was dressing people, I'd be buying things to like finish it off. And anyway, one of the things that I'd spent so much money on was footwear. And I just was like, there's got to be a better way. And I'd spent something like $8,000 inside of 6 or 7 months for other people.
Yeah.
Like
and did they keep them or did you?
No, there's a storage unit full of every luxury designer you can think of.
And different
size
sizes, obviously.
35 to 42.
Wow.
Crazy. Like literally.
Wow.
Like that's when people go, how many shoes? I'm like, my brand plus what I did.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine how many styles I accumulated. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so at the time, I was sort of in a bit of a crossroads because I'd sort of achieved a lot of what I wanted to in styling. And I think I was just hungry to get back into that business side of things. And then I don't know now to this day what drove me, because I think maybe a bit of naivety, to be honest, because I had no idea what I was doing. Like I remember our first manufacturing meeting, I was like, can we make this many? And they sampled them and then went, okay, so that'll be like $300,000. I was like, oh, maybe we'll just do 10. Like literally talk about faking it till you make it. I just had no idea what I was doing. And from there, it sort of almost became, well, all right, we're doing this. And so I was still styling at the time. Then in October of 2019, we launched the brand. And then here we are today and, you know, in major retailers and across the US. And I'm still faking it till I make it. I'm learning stuff every day that, you know, I didn't know before, like even just trying to launch the business in another country and the things that go with that and managing a team and all the things.
I know you touched on that you had a corporate job before.
Yes.
I've had many jobs as well. And I am actually a big believer in going out into a workplace
100%.
and learning as much as you can. As you said, it doesn't have to be in the field that you want to do, but just learning how an office runs or marketing or just how to work in a team environment. There's so many things that you can learn from a workplace before you set out and do your own thing that can help you.
Absolutely. And I think even now when I look back, when we would go through our profit and loss reports, like we do that every Monday as a team, you know, it's so important. You've got to know your numbers, particularly in business. Whereas when I was styling, knowing my numbers was like, how many people engaged with this outfit? How many sales were made for the designer when we put it on this talent? So it's all relative. But I think at the end of the day, like, I think when I look at both of our career stories, a lot of it stemmed from probably just a little bit of naivety and the unknown, but just getting it done and just trying it anyway. And I think for me, one of the biggest things that I have to remind myself of is that I would rather have tried and failed than not tried at all. And that would have been the thing that I would have regretted the most, I think.
I'm always in awe of anyone who has their own business. And I always say this, you know, when people have different opinions on different businesses, and I'm like, unless you have skin in the game, you don't have a say.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like, and everybody wants to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think this is relevant even if you're, you know, your business is yourself, like Brand Rosa or brand, if somebody's on TikTok, all those things are relative. Like, you know what's right and you've got to try different things.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's scary. Like us doing this podcast was scary. It's like, will anyone care what we have to say? But I'd rather, again, we have the conversation. Don't let the fear drive the decision making. I think that's something that I constantly have to tell myself, because if you don't keep evolving, you're actually not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things when you talk about success and what we've done. I think one of the reasons we're still here is I don't think we're like, oh my gosh, well, we've just absolutely killed it. Because if we did, where's it to go from there? You know? And I think for us now, it's like how we propel forward and keep moving and evolving and, you know, doing the things that make you feel good. Like, you know, if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. Okay, so before we keep going, Roz, give it up. Tell us about the good hair.
Thanks, babe. I'm not going to gatekeep anymore. It is my tried and tested favourite from Bondi Boost. It is their Bounce Thermal Brush.
But what about the mornings where I've got like 5 minutes, which is almost every morning, to get kids off to school, get to a meeting? What do I need to be doing?
Oh, that's me every morning. So that's why I'm obsessed with the Bondi Boost Infrared Bounce Brush. It is a cheat code for salon-looking hair without the salon.
It's so smart. The infrared technology styles your hair faster, but it's also gentler, so you're not frying it every time you use it.
Honestly, the bounce it gives you, it's like you've had a blow dry from a professional.
For me, it's about finding those little shortcuts, because we all need them, to make life easier without sacrificing self-care, because we all need to do that. And the brush is exactly that.
So if you want smooth, bouncy hair in minutes, try the Bondi Boost Infrared Bounce Brush and use our code ARCHIVE for free shipping.
It's heat without the damage. Thank you to Bondi Boost for sponsoring this episode of The Archive.
Do you remember what you bought with your first paycheck?
I do. I think it was something so materialistic, like a designer bag or something.
Same, yeah.
And I think I did that because I'd spent so much money on other people. So I was like, this is mine. And I think it would have been a Louis Vuitton or something like that. And it's still something that I've got now. And I think that's just that kind of, for me, it's interesting because I used to think that it's all because I want all these nice things, but it was more like I can purchase that for myself. I can, you know, buy those things and reward myself for my efforts. And I think at times you know, I deem success as being, I've got to have this and I've got to work hard to get this. And I realise now a lot of it's actually just about security. I just want to be able to do those things for myself and empower myself as opposed to rely on other people. As much as Liam would say to me, you're in a team, we're in this together. And absolutely, but I do like having that independence. You know, I think sometimes the independence of having your own business can be incredibly lonely. So I wouldn't say it all the time, but, you know, for the most part, it's good. I like that I can work hard and reward myself.
I remember mine was the wallet on a chain from Chanel. The walk.
Yes.
I still remember the grainy lamb. I think it's lamb skin or calf skin, whichever the shiny one. I still remember going to that Chanel boutique. I had Willow in the pram, and I had ummed and ahed, and I looked at it, and then I wore that bag like every day with my age mini skirt. I was it and a bit with my Chanel wallet on the chain. I still have it. It's just something that I'll never sell or.
Well, it's timeless, and it represents a moment in time.
Yeah,
you know, and I think a moment where you struggled, and then you were able to go, actually, I'm going to reward myself for the work that I've done.
What about? Should we talk about maybe looking back? Was there a job that you regret doing?
Oh, I have too many jobs that I regret doing. Do you know what? Where I would say overall, the jobs where I didn't feel like I was valued. So particularly early on in my styling career, I think you'd quote on a job and say it was 5 outfits and you'd do a fitting. And then the CEO or whoever the marketing person was like, oh, actually, we want to get this outfit. Oh, and can we get another one of this? Oh, and the friend's partner's coming now and can you do that? And I think I just didn't feel empowered enough or confident enough within myself to be able to say, well, actually, if you're going to require this, it's going to cost this much. And I think it was probably only until I got a manager, which was so good that you had Nick, before I really started to believe in my own value, because I think I just love doing it so much. But as our husbands would say, that you love doing it doesn't pay the bills, you know what I mean? Time is money and your time is worth something. And I think that's probably the biggest lesson I learned when I was freelancing, and I think a lot of creatives or people that work for themselves would be able to say, is being able to put a value on yourself can be really hard.
Absolutely, especially in the field that we do. It's like people like, but can't you just put on the outfit and take a photo? Like, it's not that hard. Or can't you just pull another pair of shoes? Or, you know, for a makeup artist, but can't you just quickly do my friend's face? Like, it's not costing you anything. And I think that's what people understand maybe, is that blurred line between the cost of time.
Exactly. Whereas when you're, you know, if you're an architect, if you're an accountant, you get your build hours, this is the work that you've done. And I think it's sometimes not valued. And that's probably been the hardest thing I've found. And then being able to kind of overcome a little bit of that imposter syndrome that I've had as well, because it just creeps in. And I think being able to have those conversations and really step into your power of what you're worth was really probably where the game changer happened for me. And I'm going to be honest and say that probably only came once I had the business, because when it was my money, my time, my team, my staff, well, nothing puts a rocket up you more than
having bills to pay.
Exactly.
Now, I think people want us to go deeper. We've promised people that we're going to go deeper.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to do the same for you though as well.
Okay. All right.
You drive it though, and I'll.
Do you remember your first paycheck dollars amount? How much was it?
I think it was about $5,000. It was
wow.
No, it was good. It was a big job.
Wow.
It was a big job. I flew overseas and I styled this sort of campaign, and it was pretty amazing. So it was about $5,000. That's when I kind of thought, oh my gosh, I might actually be able to do this for a living. $5,000, like, it doesn't, by the time you do the job, it doesn't go far, as you know, but it was exciting.
Oh my God, mine was $150.
Oh, great. But I also,
great.
No, but hang on,
Done,
hang on, but I'd also done, remember I had the corporate job.
Yes.
So I was totally faking it till I made it. So I was getting like $0 for ever, for ages. And then I had a corporate call me up and ask me to do something. And I just threw out a figure thinking, what do we think? I bounced it off somebody I knew because I used to employ stylists when I was at Westfield.
Right.
So I just asked the question and I thought, well, I'm sort of got nothing to lose. So that'd be the other thing. Sometimes just back yourself in. I was like, they can just say no.
I 100% should have backed myself more than $150 for a post. That's how much I charged.
Well, it was good. Look where you are now.
What has been your biggest paycheck? We want numbers.
Oh, it was last week, the business, and it was 6 figures.
Wow.
So it was really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, worth the blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah.
But like anyone in business will tell you, it's there and then it's gone. So I didn't, but it's an achievement nonetheless. The business has gone through so many waves. Like we launched 4 months before COVID and I thought, oh my God, all this money's going in and I'm going to lose everything. But fortunately, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So, and with the sort of built out a great team and
no, you should be so proud. I remember when you launched, we weren't talking, but I remember seeing it on social media.
Sorry about that, babe. But next time we do something, you'll definitely be involved.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks.
And what about for you? What's been the biggest figure you've received or, what's the highest sales you've made?
I would say the biggest paycheck that I ever made was when I made $2 million worth of sales in 20 minutes.
Amazing.
For a collection I designed.
Yes. We weren't talking then, but I knew that it did very well. Isn't it funny? Not friends, but know all of the things.
Yeah.
Wasn't stalking at all. No, but that was an amazing thing. And I think the timing of that was like so perfect for you as well. But I think those moments, often we don't celebrate the wins as they're happening. And that's such a win. And, like for the girl that was doing her selfies in the mirror, like how amazing is that?
I remember the collection, it sold out within 20 minutes. I said we made $2 million worth of sales and I get a percentage of every garment sold. And I just remember afterwards it was kind of like, well, people think that a sellout, you would understand this, obviously.
Totally.
People think a sellout's a great thing. It's actually not because you're like, I could be making more money.
Well, because
I need more stock.
We didn't get enough stock.
We didn't get enough stock. I need to be making more money if we had more stock. And I think you and I both think like this. We're the harshest critic on ourselves.
100%.
I think, oh my God, I could have doubled that. Had I had more stock, I could have doubled that.
Absolutely.
So there was no win or celebrating. It was like, okay, right, next collection, we need more stock.
And then the hard bit is how quickly can we get more? And I think that's the thing that sometimes people don't understand, that cycle of business.
Yeah.
But it all looks really good.
Again, next time you'll be invited.
Yeah, thank you.
What about, is there any cringe career moment where you look back and be like, oh my God, that job was just like a hot mess. I was a hot mess. Like, what was I thinking? I wish that never happened.
I have too many to recall. One that sticks out for me because I remember at the time we were working with a well-known singer and the manager was like, she only wants to wear suits, no dresses, don't do anything. So when you talk about value and where you spend your time. So we'd run around, Hayley Roach and I, who's now the GM of Lana Wilkinson, but back then she was like helping me style. And we literally were driving around, we'd gone to the set and then she turned around and said, actually, I want a dress. And so I was like, well, we've only got suits because that's what we were told we were doing. And I remember my husband was overseas. I had my mum taking care of my children that weren't even at school yet. And then we spent the rest of the afternoon running around getting these dresses. We then go to the person's apartment. We go and fit. We get there. And of course, she doesn't want to wear the dress. She just wants to wear the suit that we had at 1:00 in the afternoon, not the dress that we had at 7. And I didn't have any conversations about extra time or any sort of extra pressure that it put on me. And then I remember when we were pulling out of the apartment, I scraped and swiped the whole side of my car on the way out. And I remember just thinking, does it get any lower than this? And I think just from that moment on, I was just like, I can't be beating to somebody else's drum all the time, and I've got to value my own sense of self-worth. And I remember Hayley just looking at me going, okay, that's it. Are we done now? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So that definitely wasn't a highlight. And probably more recently, actually, nothing more humbling than when I went out to the front of my office and somebody had put human feces on my car.
I can't remember. I can't believe you told
I
me this
actually have a
happened.
photo of this. I'll have to share it.
You need to share the photo, but also have you gone through the CCTV footage to find out who did
Nobody
it?
wants to send it to us. Like, they've seen it, but they don't want to send it to us. And I think it's because they're worried I'm going to put it on TikTok. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to put it on TikTok. I'm getting name and shame. But nothing more humbling is there. You think you're doing well in life. 1 week you're doing really well in business. This is great. Nope. Front of the car, shit on the car, literally. And on the door handle as well.
Oh my God.
So there's definitely someone out there that doesn't like me very much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Okay, now that I've been humbled literally with human feces, what was your biggest cringe moment that you've had through your career?
I think anything with the Valencia filter on it was when it was just that whole period of social media. I look back, it was just cringe. And I think that was when it was just all new and we were accepting every single job that came in. So 1 minute I'm promoting mops, the next day I'm promoting cooking oil, then I'm promoting skincare, then I'm back to promoting carpet cleaner. Like, it was just so random. There was no direction, but also I guess I didn't have really had a thought of how this is impacting people following me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take this job, take this job, take this job. I'm obviously a lot more mindful and a lot more strategic now and only partner with brands that I genuinely love and use. I know that sounds so cringe, but I have definitely learnt so much, because if your audience doesn't trust you, they won't come along for the journey.
And I think that's true in any business, right? Like, you think about when you're speaking about things that you're passionate about and that you like to do, or if it is your business and you're putting everything into it, when you've got skin in the game, that's what's going to give you that truth. And I think that's what makes you strategic, is unfortunately making some mistakes. Like, I've had situations where I've supported people and haven't had that in return, but that hasn't stopped me doing that. I think you've just got to find your way.
Yeah. What about, are there any phases that you miss?
Do you know what? I miss when we were living in the moment, and this is when I'm really showing my age. But now when you go out, everyone's got a phone, everyone can just say whatever they want. I miss the time of actually just like living in the moment, even going to a concert, you know, like you stand there and you put the phone up to look through the phone to watch it. Like, I feel like I miss those times when we were in the moment. And I feel like, particularly with our businesses being so focused on social media, at times I just want to be more present. And I think that's something that era that I miss.
I would say the same thing until I had the most humbling experience on a brand trip like recently. So a mutual friend of ours, we were on this brand trip and it was this amazing snow experience, and we were just like living in the moment. We're like enjoying ourselves, having conversation, making a real effort to get to know other people. It was amazing, like really living in the moment. And we were there with like a super young generation of like, you know, like your TikTokers, and they were just on their phones the whole time. Yeah. They were just at the dinner table on their phones. Yeah. They were at ski lessons, they were on their phones. And Kate and I, who were there, like, were just like, oh my God, like how rude. Like they're on their phones the whole time.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, we're back in our hotel. And we're like chatting, and then like we go on social media, and then we see all these different reels and amazing videos and all this content that they have uploaded and nailed every single key message in the brief. And Kate and I turned to each other and I'm like, have you posted anything? She's like, I haven't even taken a photo. Have you? I'm like, no. So they are all out there doing their job. And here we are just like talking to the crew and making conversation with the waiter and probably the brand's like, where's your content?
Yeah. And for them, that was when we would do our selfies, or we would do the side. That's what they do now.
Yes, they're amazing.
So it's actually amazing. You know what I mean? And I think they have the tools and the confidence. I feel like they've got the confidence that we certainly didn't have.
They are out there dancing in the snow, and mind you,
bring it on. I'm all about it.
Can someone take a photo of me? And I don't want to do it in public in case someone sees me getting a photo done. Like
no. And I think that's something that I envy, and I hope that's something I reckon they can pass on to us versus us sharing. I think having that kind of confidence is only going to propel them even further than we've gone, you know.
Speaking about the younger generation, is there something like a lesson that you would want to share with people starting out in a career, like any career?
I think if you have an idea, whether it be a business idea or it be a goal, like just do it. Because nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's going to do it for you. And I think if I'd been led by fear, or if you'd been led by fear, we wouldn't be where we are. And you would rather have tried and failed than not try at all. And I think that's how I look at success now. I used to think, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. But I think that's definitely one lesson. The second thing I would say is get other people or get advice from the network of people that you have to do the things that you're not sure about. Like I feel like when I leapt into the shoe business, I had no idea what I was doing, but there were lots of people who were in business that I could lean on. So wherever you go throughout your career, and I think we've touched on that, it can help you along the way. So don't burn your bridges. And then the third thing I would say is who you keep around you is really important. Make sure that you've got a cheerleader around you, whether it be women, men, whatever it might be, people that support you to be your best version. Because I think you get put in lots of different situations and go on roller coasters in life and in business, that you need to make sure that you've got people that you can go to that can help you build that resilience and also reassure you, because I think self-doubt will be the killer of dreams.
I agree. I also think that I would like to share that when you're up, you think being up is going to last forever. You are going to come down at some stage. And I learn more from the quieter moments in my career because we've been around for a long time. You've had to reinvent yourself. We've had to, okay, well, what's the next thing? Like we're constantly hustling, constantly changing. And we have been through those loads where the phones aren't ringing, the emails aren't coming in, and it's like, how do we create work again for ourselves? So having those moments has taught me so much, and just appreciating that it's not going to last forever.
No, it's when you're uncomfortable, that's when the growth happens. Like when I have been down and out is when I've learnt the most, when I've grown the most. And I think sometimes that quiet time is needed to kind of plan. But don't be too busy planning that you don't start doing. You know, I think you've got to be the designer of your dreams, and nobody is going to do that for you, you know, and I think that we've had to learn that the hard way.
Well, we hope that you got a little bit of, motivation, bit of inspiration, and something that you can take away from this episode.
And I think success means something different to us now than it did before, but we want to know what you think, and we want to talk about the things that you want to know. Maybe you know something we don't, or maybe you know something and you want us to tell that story. Leave some comments with us or DM, and we will be sure to come back to you and answer them.
And we'll see you next time.